let us start with the practical demonstration for AWS S3 replication, all right, where we are going to transfer data from one region to another. Basically, when I mean by transfer, basically I am meaning and inclining towards replication, right? So here right now I am in North Virginia, which is US East 1, and we are going to replicate the object to US East Ohio, that is US East 2. Okay, so let me create a bucket over here, and yeah, it will be a general purpose bucket, and I'll just name this bucket as the Shubham hyphen bucket one. Okay, this will be the bucket name, and we will be going with the default thing. And however, we are already aware of versioning. We'll be enabling versioning this time, and then we are going to create the bucket. Okay. Now at the same time, I am going to create another bucket over this region, that is US East to Ohio. The name of the bucket would be the Shubham hyphen bucket 2. Okay, same thing that we need to do over here is we need to enable versioning, and then we are good to go to create the bucket. Okay, now if you go to US East 1 bucket, okay, I'll just go inside and upload one object. I'll just upload one of the object here. So let me just check. Okay, we are going to use again Sekai JPEG image, and here I'll just upload it. Okay, so yeah, upload succeeded, and now I'm closing it. Now, since we enabled versioning over here, when you turn on this flag, you will see there is an version ID over here. It can also be null because it can also be null in some scenario, in some cases, if you haven't enabled the versioning. However, at the bucket creation itself, if you're enabling the versioning, you will definitely see this version ID. All right. Now, let us see how we will be able to transfer or will be able to replicate this data to bucket 2. Okay. What I am going to do is I'm going to go into management. Here we have replication rules, and here we are going to create a new replication rule. Okay, so replica 1 status should be enabled, and then here we need to define the source and destination. The source here is North Virginia, which is US East 1, all right, and you need to select the rule scope. Do you want to limit the scope of this rule by using one or more filters, or you want to apply it to all the objects? So basically I want to apply to all the objects. Basically that's why I'm enabling with this option. I'm going to the destination, and here you need to click on here where you want to specifically transfer the object from one region to another, or you can also specify the name of the bucket stored in another object, another AWS account. Now how will AWS will know? If you remember the lecture one, the bucket name is globally unique, so that is how it will going to trigger it. Okay, all right. However, since I'm going to work it in my own AWS account, so I'm going to make use of this name. So I'll just copy the name, that is the Shubham bucket 2, and I'll just paste it over here. It automatically detected the version, that is US East 2 and US East Ohio. If I click over here, you can see that this is matching. All right, things are done and it's properly in place. Now here I enroll, since we are dealing here with replication, and I already mentioned in one of the video in AWS where we were learning about identity and access management, that for every action that you do there is an ID generated, and for every action that you are performing there is ID generated, and you need some sort of permissions for that, right? So for that we make use of identity and access management. So here we are going to create a new role. Okay, and then leave all the options as is. We are going to come back here to check the later things. When you click on save, it will give you a pop-up. All right, whether do you want to replicate all the things, or do you want to replicate the existing things? So as of now, I don't want to replicate the existing items. I want to I want to replicate the items going forward, right? So I'll just click on submit. This is done. All right, now once I refresh it, our replication rule is enabled. Okay, all right. Now let us go back to the bucket one and upload another object. I'll click on add files, and here let me search for an image. Okay, let's take Miguel and Hawk's image and upload it. Now, since we enabled all the things and the object has been uploaded, okay, you can see it is present here. And if you enable the version, you can see the version ID is also generated, right? Now, why I'm specifically focusing on this version ID is because if you don't even enable the version ID, this thing won't work. right? So the primary requisite for enabling the replica of cross-region transfer would be to enable the bucket version. Okay. Now when I go to bucket 2, it will take nearly few seconds and the object will be loaded here. All right. Let us wait for few seconds and definitely we'll be able to see the Miguel-Hawk JPEG file over here. All right, so as you can see, the object is replicated finally. Now, if I enable the version, okay, see the version here start with HUW, and when I go back, you can see the exact thing is replicated there, right? Now, there is one more thing that I would like to demonstrate over here is the delete marker thing. When you go here and select the replication rule and click on edit rule, as I mentioned earlier, I will be coming back here, we'll be enabling delete marker and click on save. Okay. Now, why I am doing so is we want to demonstrate the last point which I covered on the theory. Like if we delete an object, right? Basically, a delete marker appears, right? So let me delete Sakai over here, okay? And let me type delete, okay? Now, when I delete the object, all right, it is successfully deleted, and you can see it is not present. Now, when I click on show versions, we have a snapshot created. Now, what is our expectation from enabling this replication and delete marker is in our destination, we want this delete marker file to be present. The ID starts with 7 UIP. Okay. Now, when I go here and I refresh it, I should find that delete marker file here, right? So let us wait for a few seconds and it will definitely appear over here. All right, so as you can see, the object, the delete marker has been appeared over here and with the same version ID that is 7UIP. All right, that was all about the practical demonstration how we can do it. Now, in order to terminate this thing, you need to delete the object first. Okay, type permanently delete object. All right, done. And now it's time to delete the bucket. Okay, now go to bucket 2, delete, type the name of the bucket, and that is how you will be able to suspend your bucket. So this we did for the destination. Now we need to follow the same for the source. All right, so let us delete the objects first. Delete, permanently delete. Miguel Hawk, delete. Okay, delete object. Object is delete. Go back, go to buckets, and now it's time to delete the bucket. Okay, it is saying the bucket is not empty. Why? Because there is an snapshot, there is an delete marker already present. That's why it is showing like that, right? If you want to re-verify the same, go to the bucket and enable the version. You'll find that the object is still present. See, it is still present, and it even took the delete marker for Miguel Hawk and Seaguy, right? So what we are going to do is we are going to empty the bucket and then we are going to delete the bucket. All right. It is trying to empty the bucket. Once done, we are going to delete it. Okay. So here I'll type permanently delete. and yeah, it is successfully deleted. All right, let me do a refresh. Go to buckets. Okay. All right. That was all a practical demonstration about S3 bucket, S3 replication. All right. And see you in the next topic. Yeah.